Local man needs to learn to not record stuff at 10:13 at night. Okay, so I've been labbing a little bit today, and I came across something big, relatively important, and something I honestly should have figured out much, much, much earlier. So, and it took a while, so I did a little bit of labbing, and I was like, wait, there's no way I never knew this. So, and I feel so stupid. So, you guys know that meme where it's Johnny, and it's stick figure Johnny, and there's someone across the entire screen, and they're like, "Oh, fuck my Chungus character, I'm minus 15. Oh, he's so punishable, and so blah blah blah." You know that meme? Well, it kind of applies to H-Kkohaku's one of H-Kkohaku's specials that I was actually never using in my pressure before, and then I actually bothered checking the frame data and checking the situation afterwards, and well, color me surprised in how strong the situation afterwards is. So we're going to have Arc here, mash 2A in this gap, and well, you'll see what happens. So yeah, so now I know what you're thinking. Okay, but what about on block, right? Because she's -9 or -7 after that, depending on which hit you get. There are two hits. There's the initial inner hit that's active for 2 frames, and then there's the later hit that is active for 3 frames that you get when you space it out. But on block, you're gonna see that I'm not going to chain into it. I'm just going to block string. I'm pushed out so far that very few normals could actually hit me. So I don't know. This is literally not in any other H-Kkohaku's game plan at all, like at whatsoever. Um, Normally when you see this on block, it's because someone tried to do a 236A and they got a misinput, like this or something like that. But like when you use it off of C and B normals to like block string, it is like surprisingly strong. Because while yeah, off of B normals, if they mash a 4 frame or a 5 frame normal like frame one, they win. If they delay it by 1 or 2 frames, I think it's 1 frame. Okay, then it's 2 frames then. Okay, 3 frames. My bad, yeah. Am I just doing it too slow? Okay. Okay, so it is 3 frames, right? So they just mash a little late. You trade, and the thing with this, like for those of you who don't understand why this move being so safe and block stringing off of your B and A normal, like pretty much all of your normals, because you can't just not charge it or just half charge it or delay it because it's a special. And I know what a bunch of you are thinking. So like, why is this important at all? It's a launcher essentially. So you know how like why HLN is really annoying to like do pressure on because she can just 3C you and trade, and if she trades, you get launched by her 3C. This is pretty much the same exact deal, but on block, you are like hard pressed to punish this. Like even if Arc does something like 2C and I like dash into her, I am safe. Like I actually did a whole bunch of testing on the stuff that could punish me, and the answer is not a lot. Like at this spacing, yeah, I don't get to jump afterwards for free. But normally after like 5A, 6AA, I get to jump for free. Or I could like just flat out redash because I'm so minus that if my opponent like commits to stopping the redash by pressing a button immediately, they put themselves in an awful position. And if they try to like jump afterwards, like let's get this thing to jump. I have my drift. I can just J8, react to the jump, and then drift forward and JB. Like I'm doing it wrong. I'm tired. But yeah. Like 623B has more recovery, so it's more minus, but generally it is almost as safe. Let me because it's just because it has a whole bunch of pushback. This is something I just never really considered or took into account in regards to how strong it was as a moves to be using on block strings. So I'm just gonna show some interesting examples of it like being shit that you would expect it to not be. For example, like the first thing I checked in regards to how well this would work was versus Sasuke 2C, because Sasuke 2C is omega fast and it's omega annoying. You see, you turn off the delay. And if you do it like this, even after a single C normal, she can't reach. Like, in order to punish, she'd have to, like, do a micro walk to C. And if she's doing that, that means she's committing, like, Omega early. And, like, she's reacting to 623A. And also, like, you're going to be using it like this to try to trade with her 2C to begin with. Because it trades with 4-frame normals if you do it correctly. And you get like a whole bunch of damage like that. I mean, it's similar to this, but it's a lot easier to confirm, and you don't mind it trading. Like, if you trade with the 2C, you usually get piddly squat because it's not, well, 2C is a sweep, but it's not a launcher, so it's a lot harder to confirm. And typically, you can like trade with like B or C level normals that end up like yeah, there's only a 3-frame gap. So ideally, they never ever trade with you, but sometimes it happens if you do it like you do it off of like B level normals. This happens a lot. With this, it's a lot easier to time, and it's a lot easier to hit confirm. Like another really good thing about this is that even if they try to like jump in this gap, like if they do like a fuzzy jump or whatever, it catches them and it's air unblockable. So, and it leads into good damage too. So it's like they can't like jump it freely, and even if they like jump super early or whatever, or they jump like after that, like because of JB, you can easily discourage them from like trying to super double jump or IED at you. Like, I just don't know how no one ever bothered. Like, this is quite literally the Johnny meme where he's like +15, but like a trillion years away from you, so you're in a bad position. This is like the exact same one, because you like, yeah, the ideal situation is you blocking it, but like if you try to jump, even if you fuzzy jump, you're gonna get hit, and like it could do like a lot of damage even on counter hit. And this is on Sasuke health, by the way. On like Scion, let me quickly show you. It does like almost 4K. Extended settings, jump. And like this is easily like confirmable. This is another thing about this using this to block string. Like, oh, it's only 3, but was I doing a different combo to get it to be 4K? I sworn I was getting more. Whatever. Another thing that's so important about this is that it's a lot more easier to hit confirm than the other stuff that H-Kkohaku is normally using to hit confirm. Like trying to hit confirm into like 236 AA is really hard because like it adds 5 to the hit counter. So if you do like one too many hits, you can't hit confirm into 236 AA. And that's normally your strongest hit confirm. And it's one that almost always leads to Oki regardless of screen positioning. But while this doesn't lead to Oki, you don't ever have to really worry about getting mixed up because if it counter hits, like you can just delay your jump until you see what type of hit it is. And like while you do have to sometimes worry about if you delay too much, sometimes you have to like cut the BC and just do AAA into air throw. It is like way more consistent than I was doing before. It's a lot more safer than like, again, I'm going to show you some examples of some shit that I was expecting. Like you already saw that it beat Sasuke 2C off of like a C level normal. There's a whole lot of shit it beats off of C level normals that I wasn't expecting it to beat. For example, like this is like a funny situation that's not really ever going to happen in a match. But if I set Noir to 2B on reaction to it's 2B. That's, okay, yeah, if I set him into 2B, Yeah, that nonsense happens. Like, of course, this isn't going to happen in a match because I believe it's like a 2 or 3 frame window in order to get that. Actually, it might be more lenient because it's grabbing his recovery and not the active. But like, it's not really going to ever happen in a match like consistently. But like, the fact that it's like you're pretty much good to just whiff punish him by like just redashing in on the 2B. And if you try to 2C, I tried that earlier, like, yeah, he can do, yeah, if you do it not right, you can block because it hits your neutral frame. And you can just, I think you have to slightly delay it so that the first frame doesn't hit you. Like, I'd like, it's weird. But like that's frame perfect for him to do. Like, even if he does that frame off, he's hitting my neutral frame and I can block, which is a pretty safe bet. Like, I don't know what the spacing is in order to get it to like if you do like if you just add an A button, normally, yeah, you get consistently pushed out in order to just like be able to block. And if you can block, that means you can start getting cheeky with that by rolling. Like, I think Wara 2C might be like one of the only things which you can't like actually goof around with roll and backdash. But let me show you an example in which you can goof around with roll and backdash. Character selects. I was testing versus Hime buttons and they all whip versus this simple block string. And like, if it's working versus Hime, it's a pretty good sign. I checked C Hime, so let's do some fresh testing versus F Hime right now. This video is already kind of long. And let's set extending to 2B. Yep, doesn't even hit if I crouch. Which means I could do something like this. Wow. Yeah, you could probably do something nasty there. Let's check 5B. It didn't work for C Hime, but so it shouldn't work for this one. Well, this one works for F, but if you add an A button, it doesn't work. Yeah, but if you buffer it immediately, no gap. But you don't get to wave punish. Although, I think you should be able to whip punish by just frame data if you... Yeah. Yeah, like this is like a really strong tool for H-Kkohaku because like the big thing for me was that it was like resetting was like practically impossible. Like, you would do this to try to reset and it's like yeah, all you could do is like threaten dash block or 2C, and trying to get like a good reward on 2C was like really difficult unless you just assumed your opponent was just going to get hit by the 2C and try to do some wacky hit confirm that if they blocked, you could like explode for them not overextending. But with 623A, you can like pretty safely gamble versus a majority of the options in the game. Let me show you something like even stuff like Tono 2C. Like, I was doing like a lot of testing again because I was just so surprised that I quite literally never thought of this and I never saw it being used like this. Like, versus Tono 2C, it's similar to F Hime 5B that we just saw, that if he does it, if you do it too close, it's a true punish, right? Of course, they have to be frame perfect in order to get the punish. But like, oh, I think 3 frame leniency. Yeah. No, it should only be 4 frames leniency, 2 frame leniency. Whatever. The point is, if you do it too close, you get punished. However, again, if you add a 5A, you get spaced out just enough so that the first active frames don't actually connect with you, and you get to block it, which means you can start doing nonsense like shield it. Man, I'm bad. Wait, is her shield? Does her shield actually shrink her box? That's hilarious if so. Yeah, actually might. That I'm just bad at. That I'm just bad at doing it. No, because it's being buffered. Her shield actually shrinks her box so it doesn't get. Oh, you can also just jump. Yep. So just like that, you can get out of range for any sort of nonsense from his 2C. Like not crouching afterwards is pretty important. Like again, it works like that versus Chrono 2C. Okay, bro, this Zenless song is ass. This is like the only song in the playlist from Zenless that I don't like. Completely unrelated though. Let me give me example of some of the other nonsense I was testing. So C narrow 3C is like a bufferable button. It's like then 3C, in which is a really annoying block string tool that makes resetting on him really annoying. But I found that even in this situation, it's not 3C, it's 4C for him. So you get to block, and if you do it, no, you are +5. You don't get a punish because you're too far away. You can cut off a. Yeah, you can cut off one of the 2As, but you pretty much just get to like throw him or like just 2A. Like, and he's not really going to match anything else other than that because it's 2A, his other big redash no button, doesn't work. In fact, despite how active it is, you can actually just punish it. I'm being bad at the dash? Nope. I think if you delay a frame of war, it would actually connect from that reach. But the... Oh, it's probably if he stays crouching afterwards. Yeah. I'm I'm bad at the command dash throw. Dash throw, I mean. Whatever, I can't get it anymore, but the point is you can grab him from farther when he's crouching, and I just can't get the thing to be right. So whatever. Point is, this is like really strong reset tool, and because you discourage your opponent to like just like mash a button, they have to overextend, and if they overextend, you can start doing nonsense. Like if they start trying to dash because it's their turn, you can just hit 2A. Like Nani is a good example because this guy has a fucking cheap ass dash extended settings. If we just have him 4 dash block, bro, yeah, 4 dash block. Yeah, like you could just throw him. Like you can't dash button fast enough to actually beat you. Although there is a frame of delay. No, he's doing as fast as possible. That was my frame of delay. Yeah, so if you see the thing, Nania's 2A is 5 frames. 6 frames. No, it's probably 6 frames. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, if you hit it frame perfectly or had 1 frame leniency, you wouldn't get thrown. But like he has to like buffer dash, and if you're buffering dash like that, you are also going to be really scared of this situation, which is a lot you know, which is more likely to just like beat you doing something. Like let me just quickly record a dummy and to just like I think this is a really. Oh right, I need to turn this off for a second, real quick, so I can record the dummy. Wow, you're actually out of dash throw range. Yeah, he has to go all the way to dash throw you. And we'll record a dummy that does immediate dash 2A. And a dummy that just does something like that. And we're gonna, yeah. You can just buffer throw here, and even if you try to dash block anything, it doesn't work. This is a true punish, but again, he has to like commit. Okay. And to this situation, like I think if he like Rising J seeded this or Rising J, yeah. If he does this, maybe. Oh, you're actually not in risk at that. Let's see if this. So you could do this. Rising with J, and if you hit. Or something like that, so that if you yeah, you could do like 2 JAs to like make sure if he tries to do like a cheeky air throw, it doesn't work. I mean, you really only have to worry about the frame perfect dash 2A, because all the other options aren't going to work. Like I'm going to record this, but not one frame, not frame perfectly. Like the dash, being frame perfect on the dash is not that hard, but being frame perfect on the 2A would be sort of difficult. Now, yeah, if he's not frame perfect, you just wink him out of his 2A. And this is Nadia with a relatively fast dash 2A. Of course, you have to buffer it. So anyway, the point is, I think 623A on block is super duper strong, and I will be using it a lot more in block string offense because it's just resetting with a launcher is just strong, and there's like a lot of ways you can implement it that like it's just, I think it's just strong. And that's it for the video. It's just something I noticed while doing a little bit of labbing, and I wanted to make a video about it.